Hey, hello, and welcome to Power Play, a Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition live stream where a bunch of players must rescue the coast from the wrath of Tiamat. My name is Josiah. I'm your Dungeon Master. Let's get into tonight's episode.
Lady Tiamat whispers, her children fly north. No virtue will stop them. Send the sins forth.
And welcome back. All right, so let's get into tonight's episode with roll for recap. Sola being our exempt player today, but the highest dice roll will be our recapper. Ramsey.
19.
Whoa!
11.
11 also.
18.
He finally rolled a recap!
His first natural
recap.
Is it really the first one?
Yeah.
Who has chosen him? Oh, we don't
We should say though, if Kenny was here, Scree probably would have rolled a 19 as well. So
Yeah. So let's go with that. I get to re-roll.
no,
Damn it.
But speaking of which, Kenny's not with us tonight, but they will hopefully be back with us next week. So look out for that. Ramsey, take away.
Dear Mother, she's gone. She's gone, and I don't know what I'm going to do. Small glimmer of hope, though, is that by circumstance we've met a sister, not in the biological sense, but more of the religious aspect. A sister of hers has come to join us, almost as if it was meant to be. Not entirely sure of this one yet. Her name's Ishif. She's something else altogether. Very, very opposite of Eon. But we've been busy. We've succeeded, I guess you could say, somewhat in Two Hills, even though it doesn't stand. And now we've made our way back to the Deltalk farm, where Sola was able to discover that her grandfather was tampered with in a way, his memory being wiped, and I slightly feel bad for how I treated him earlier, but only slightly. I'm sure he's still a dick at heart. Our plans are to head back towards the city. Hopefully at some point the Blackstaff can retrieve us and get us there quicker. Otherwise this is going to be a very long, quiet cart ride. And I'm looking forward to just having a bed to sleep on again. As much as I've enjoyed this time with my newfound family, it's been rough, and I need some change in my life. Well, I will write you again when we have a moment. I miss you, and one day I will find you.
Perfect. Thank you, Ramsey. So, we step back in to our little group, the Sins, as the five of you have traveled to the Falcon Mere to assist the Emerald Enclave with this demonic vine-like entity seemingly sprouting from this crystal in the ground. You're able to defeat it with not a whole lot of issue. And in return, the voice of the Falconmere and the leader of the Emerald Grove here in Waterdeep, this chosen of Mileki, she gives you all what you needed at that time, manifesting in different ways for all of you. For Ramsey, his tattoo. For Eon, now dead, but Ishif. More healing, sorry. Hopefully not again. Sola upgrading her amulet, and Rhaenyra obtaining this kind of divine necklace. Scree with his tiny wings, newly birthed and kind of wet still.
Did you have to?
He kind of like turns around and starts like his back towards you, Ramsey, as he's trying to rub the wings onto you.
No.
He keeps going. Do you dodge or do you let it happen?
I dodge.
Make a dexterity save. He's like, they're just so wet. Why are they so sticky?
That's a 20.
Scree's pretty quick.
So, Scree rolled a natural 17 with his dex as a 22. So he just rubs all those wings right on there. A few of them like come off and get stuck to your
I like
parts of your...
instantly like cut myself and like ignite my skin.
Oh, it smells really bad. Yeah. Burning wings.
Burnt
Why?
Into
feathers.
Why?
They're very itchy.
Fine.
They're better now.
Prestidigitate that away.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
He kind of like leans towards you, Sola.
Not too close, not too close.
Okay.
Yeah. That I can do it from a distance.
Like a dog, he like shakes the wings out and it just kind of like wetly, moistly vibrates in the air. Anyway. The door to this kind of off the side room opens, and you see the groundskeeper, Melanor, kind of peek ahead through this kind of stoic face, just kind of like looking in as he... Oh, he dies. Just like the music. He looks... looks like you got everything. Not leaving anything. Good.
I think we took care of it.
Yes, it seems to be rather trimmed down.
Perfect. Once again, thank you for everything you did for my lady, and hopefully I won't be seeing you again too soon. But...
Oh, we have a tendency of running into people all the time.
Me as well.
And she blessed us for our help as well. So
Yes.
we all got a little something out of it.
Well, good.
No, I'm sure there was something else we were supposed to be doing. We got summoned here, and then we have the meeting. What day is it?
Today we do need to go see Vajra as well.
It's today. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Last few days have been slightly hazy.
Agreed.
It's like weeks have passed.
We've drank a lot.
It's true.
A lot.
Do you think?
A lot.
Do you think Lady Blackstaff is ready for us?
Always. Never.
We could send that bird we got
Oh yes,
and ask, right?
we could.
Because he can send a message back, right? Like whatever that
I think
person
so.
does.
Let me
Read the
read the
manual
instruction
again.
manual. Yes.
I'm just like flying in a circle above everyone, waiting.
Can you do what we want?
Maybe.
You know, that kind of gives away our position at all
I'll
times.
just like lower like 2 feet and just still keep like circling.
You do you, boo. Looking up the bird.
Mm-hmm.
Can somebody else read? I can't read very well. Screen, that's not
it's
you.
a complex.
I can.
Complex.
I
In
can.
pictures, I'm gonna read in pictures.
There's a picture of the bird. You could
Is
confirm
that a bird?
that it's the bird.
Okay.
It is.
Well, I guess it seems like it. I don't know if it'll come back. That's the only hit. Yes.
Well, I mean,
Doesn't matter.
I guess if we're headed there, she could send it back, though, couldn't she?
Can't you just send a message?
I mean, I can, but it costs spells. You
Fuck
know?
it.
we're
okay.
not traveling today.
Well,
We're on the way.
Just like
The tiny little statue, as you throw it into the air, it immediately transforms. Its kind of metallic-looking wings growing and becoming much more flexible slowly until they are rapidly beating against the slow descent until they pick back up and begin to fly away.
It's very cool. So, like, what's the etiquette? Do we just start walking there and this is kind of like a heads up? Or does she summon us?
We usually don't even give her that.
yeah.
Oh.
This was more
We just kind of show up and ride the big hand
I
up.
think she has some sort of fifth sense that
Yes.
we may be on the way anyways.
I just get the impression she could squish us.
Oh, very much so.
Yep.
All right, and
Yes.
and you regularly just show up.
If she wanted to squish us, I think she would have done so by now.
Yes. We kind of have proved use to her, so we have that going for us at least.
How far is this walk that we have back to?
Not very far.
Oh, okay.
The Falcon Mirror is kind of like, a little bit northwest, but not very far from northeast. So it wouldn't be very far from the Hag's house. And the Blackstaff Tower is kind of just
On the other
right
side of
down the
market.
market area there to the waterfront, and then there she is.
All right. Well, let's be on our way, and maybe we'll surprise her. Maybe we won't. You know, it's funny. Now that we sent the bird off, I just remembered we have the badge. But anyway, too late.
That is so on brand.
We forget about these things all the time, which is so strange
We do.
because I love it so much. I don't think I would think about it all the time. But anyway,
I don't even know where mine is anymore.
Uh-oh. Scream.
Right.
Either way, we should make our way there. I have a feeling that this won't be the greatest of conversations. It's probably figure out we're going to learn more of what's been happening and how bad this situation really is. Hooray.
No time like the present to get squished.
Again, she's not the one that usually will...
Do the squishing.
She can, but she kind of sends
Us to do the
us to
squishing.
do the squishing.
Great.
So that if we get squashed, it's...
If the squishers get squashed, it protects her from being the squasher.
Yes.
Excellent.
Yes.
Let's go.
Okay.
As you guys begin to walk out and back into the Falcon Mirror, these gorgeously crafted and meticulously maintained gardens, you hear this kind of guttural vocalization, this animalistic noise coming from kind of around the corner. And as you kind of like stop and wait, you begin to hear just this kind of shaking of the ground of a large creature moving towards you all. And on the other side of this building, kind of coming towards you and now in full view, one gigantic tree trunk of a leg, followed by another. This kind of long snout that kind of like goes down all the way and has this little like, not grabber, but little indent. And you see an elephant with these long flappy ears, and it's kind of
Elephant.
Elephant. Is this
Elephant.
normal?
As you guys are looking, you see on its
Groundskeeper?
tail there's like a large sack, that this kind of like collection of bags that's in this like net that he's just kind of holding up on his tail as he walks. And you can see following him now a pair of gazelle, a lynx, a few different animals. As the groundskeeper kind of looks and goes, guests are arriving. Emerald Enclave. We work with a lot of druids. And as he says that, you see one of the elephants, it puts its tail down as it kind of sits on this little stone platform in front of one of the gardens. And you watch as it completely transforms, slowly at first, but then very rapidly into a small humanoid, a halfling.
You know, I'm a little disappointed. I thought we were gonna get to see an animal parade.
We kind of did.
I think someone's overcompensating for something.
He like tries to drag the sack still with him, but it's a little too heavy in his other form. And you can see this kind of like larger Goliath who transforms out of an alligator out of the pond. And as he kind of like comes up, he one hands it over the shoulder, and they continue walking in.
Well, this is quite the event.
Yes, quite a few rather high ups in the organization arriving in Waterdeep now.
Where are they coming from? Druids like that? It's not. Where do they come from?
All over the continent. We have a few from Silvery Moon in the High Forests. One who's been working with some of the people in Icewind Dale. He was not a pleasant fellow at all.
The druid.
Yes.
Well, it is bitterly cold up there, so...
You're saying that the trouble is that far. It's reached that far, all the way to Icewind Dale.
Yes, we have reports that all the major cities are sending a representative to Waterdeep, so it would make sense.
Horrible.
As you're kind of talking, one of the guests kind of walks over, and you see he's kind of like holding up a bunch of his bags and goes, sorry to interrupt, just looking for my stay. And you can see he's got like this kind of like super well-adorned leaf kind of blouse, almost, that's made up with natural fabrics. It crunches and moves with his movement, but never breaks in any ways. Has this kind of like tactileness to it. And as he, they kind of begin the conversation, the groundskeeper looks to you all and just goes, I should probably begin with checking in the guests and everything, but please let me know if you need any other requests or help.
No, I believe we're fine. For now, we have some other pressing matters we need to attend, so... Again, if you ever need our help, please, you know how to reach out. Maybe not a cat next time. Just personal...
I liked the cat.
Send more cats.
It's very cute.
Oh. Usually I send a cat, but...
Keep sending it.
Okay.
He doesn't speak for us. Send the cat.
Okay.
We will trade him for the cat.
Oh. I mean...
Just kidding.
Well, I should be getting back to work. Kind of turns away and walks off with a few of the guests in tow as they make their way into kind of this separate but decently sized complex on the Falcon Mirror that you see is kind of more set up for internal inside living, or at least even saying that, like, there's no doors. It's all like very open flow, lots of windows and any building that's still standing. But you now have a moment to yourselves.
Boy, do you guys think it is no coincidence that the most powerful druids in the continent are gathering at the same time that we are also going to meet with the Blackstaff, who is meeting with other people too?
Sounds like everybody is.
Like
coming
everybody
to
is
Waterdeep.
preparing. Yeah.
Mhm.
Like we're at war. It is as plain and simple as that. The troops are being rallied, lines are being drawn, plans are being devised. We are at war.
It's hard to maybe imagine, but Two Hills is just one of, I'm sure, dozens of communities that have been destroyed.
Right.
Well, you said yours was attacked, wasn't it?
Mine was one of them. And it was a quicker demise than Two Hills. I don't think we were as interesting to the evil.
Where are you from?
It's like something.
No, it wasn't. Fairway.
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 That's right.
Yes, I'm from Fairway. Fairway. Which is kind of on the edge of the Neverwinter Wood, slightly between Two Hills and Waterdeep.
Oh, I'm aware.
Oh.
My family has done business out in that area.
Oh. It wasn't me.
Not that kind of business.
It wasn't Scree's type of business, was it?
Maybe. My brother was involved, so
So-
it's a possibility.
It was his kind of business.
Wait, which business are we talking? The thieving or the whoring?
Obviously, the whoring.
Okay. Yes.
Right, we've established this. No, it was a nice little community. It's no longer there, so let's carry on and let's go see if we can stop some more little towns from being absolutely obliterated, and go find a dragon about a vendetta.
That's right.
It's the first sound thing I've heard in a while.
Excellent.
Off we go.
Alrighty. So the five of you begin to walk out of the Falconmere and back into the bustling city of Waterdeep. It doesn't take you very long, even traveling on foot, probably like 20 minutes, half an hour, but doable. The weather as you walk out is, well, it's beautiful. It's for a kind of middle fall day. It's not too hot, but the sun kind of raining down is a little bit nice for the people that have spent more time in dark recently. So you continue onwards to Blackstaff Tower until it enters into your view. And as you walk into the tower itself, it is extremely busy in here. Not just from students, but all different kinds of robed individuals. You can see differing levels of extravagance from people you can tell maybe just been recently promoted to like a practicing wizard, to some with close to what you'd have to imagine is archmage status, if not a little bit lower perchance. There's a lot of bling, there's a lot of magical tomes flying around that are, as you're walking by, they're old as hell, but
Like holding Scree by the neck.
yeah,
Yeah, truly.
Sola, badge out.
We need to look official.
Take Sola. Name everyone.
Yeah.
Move. Get out of the way.
You start-
Let's move.
you slowly start to like Moses kind of part the wizard sea, from people that are just obviously not paying attention to you, from others that you can see trying to sell different item components, and a few with like different wands that are mostly for show.
No, we don't want your gum. Go away.
No, my gum. Fixes your teeth right up.
Wait, how old are you?
I'm not a day past 305.
Tempting. So
You see,
tempting.
my teeth fell out when I turned 135, but with my gum, they grew back.
Go, no, go.
You
go,
want
go,
my
go,
gum?
Go.
No!
I don't know, I made a good argument.
Just go.
No.
Yeah. As you leave, you can tell that there's like a wide berth, and where he is just standing alone in the sea of
Staring.
wizards with his like little packets of gum. But you guys get up to the counter, eventually talking to one of the secretaries, who notices you all and goes, yes, Sins, I will get Blackstaff right away.
Or should we go up?
Oh, can you go up?
I can go up.
Well, not on our own. Well, that's true. You could go up on your own.
Well,
I can go up.
Oh.
did it actually work?
Yeah. You see him like
hovers.
levitates off the ground slowly, but then he starts making a little bit of speed, a little bit of.
Oh.
It's very slow, but he's flying and slowly getting out there. He's like, I'm doing it. You just see his
Please, before you burst something in your brain.
his assless chaps.
Oh God.
The only thing you see when you look up, they blot out the sun.
On full display.
You know,
Yeah.
Ray did a very good job with that tattoo. I should look her up one day to keep continuing on my art book.
As Scree continues to suffer on his desire incline upwards, you guys hear a from above you as the sound of air shifting out of the way as a gigantic magical hand flies down, and Scree goes, oh fuck, god damn it. And he just keeps trying to, he's gonna try and beat her up there. But you guys see Vajra flying down on her Bigby's hand.
Oh, I was hoping we'd go up, but
Maybe she'll invite us.
I doubt it.
I do like riding the hand.
I know, so do I.
Her blue kind of silver metallic armor with this kind of like collared piece. You can see the mask on it shifted up as she kind of looks at you all with, Sins, good to see you.
Force Grey, at your service.
Shall we?
What exactly, before we go jumping headlong into this, what exactly are we getting into?
I should apologize for that. Maybe a bit of a rush to teleport you all in. I'll be honest, a little bit busy over the last little while, so didn't have a whole lot of time to pick you guys up, so it worked out that way. However, probably should have given you a little more warning. I hear the residents of Two Hills have made it to the gate as of this morning.
Oh, good.
So
Wonderful.
they should be finding some rest and reprieve in the city soon.
We've sent instruction, actually, for them to head to the City of the Dead, to the Church of Lythertide.
Perfect. That should
They have
help
lodging
us.
there for now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let us get to it.
By any chance, did a silver metallic bird tell you of our forthcoming?
Yes.
Can I have it back? Or can he have it back?
I've kind of grown partial to it.
Okay. Next time you're back, I will.
You broke it, didn't you?
It's a magical tower, and you sent an item.
They
I digress.
destroyed
I will. It will.
Bastards.
We are on.
Fine.
That's why you have the bad.
You want-
Anyway.
You owe me
Anyway.
one magic bird.
Anyway,
I thought of the badge.
I knew you would, Solo. I knew you would.
After we sent the bird.
Knew you would.
I can't believe I'm about to say this, but I'm agreeing with Rhaenyra, and she's agreeing with me.
It's weird.
We should go.
Yes.
We should.
We really
should.
should get
Okay.
on task.
I don't want to stand near you.
Yes.
If you're flying on the hand, hop on. Continue. Oh,
I'm gonna pull Scree like as I'm flying like a circle like around.
I'm quite impressed with the endurance that Scree's showing with this.
As you're saying that, he goes, "Hurry the fuck up! The doors are closed!" Ah!
It's fine.
Oh god. Alright, come on.
He's gonna tire himself out.
Yeah.
He'll sleep so well tonight.
You know, they always say that.
Hop on the hand or be left behind. Let's go.
Fine, let's go.
We
Right.
get on.
You hop on, and Bigby's hand continues to rise up the 7 or 8 stories of this wizarding tower until it rises, and you see at the top, she once again gives her fingers a little snap, and a doorway appears, and this entrance that you all begin to filter in through. Familiar once again to you, for those of you who have spent some time in the Blackstaff Tower.
If she asks you to stay behind by yourself, don't.
Alright.
You wake up with tattoos.
Oh. And I don't want that.
Well, you might, but I don't remember how I got to the city. Well, I do remember vague parts, or at least I've been filled in on vague parts of. I might have been slightly inebriated and inappropriate. But I woke up on the floor, and with this.
Just another Saturday night for Ramsey.
Kind of.
I should point it out that that tattoo makes you quite a lot stronger.
It does, yes, but on the same hand, it's. Would have been nice to know it was going to happen.
Just because you got so drunk to forget it does not mean... Anyway,
Fine.
come, sit. She enters into her office, and you can see this oval table, simple chairs set up. But as you sit down at them, they kind of vibrate for a second before settling. And almost one of the chair's arms kind of like reaches below it and picks up a beer for you and cracks it open. And everyone does that for you.
Wow, these chairs are amazing.
Yeah.
I love this place.
It picks it up and then it holds it for you like a drink holder.
Just like lower your mouth.
Yeah, and they come up with a sippy cup. Anyway, yeah, they kind of fit your bodies as you kind of relax into them. And sitting in this chair is noticeably much more comfortable than other chairs that sat in, which is nice.
To me, it was just kind of like a hug.
I wasn't going to say anything, I'm not sure. This is just normal for this place.
Do Sola's feet touch the floor?
Do they?
No.
No.
Yeah, just sitting there.
She likes it. And the chair knows.
It rises.
It gets a little bit taller for her.
Vajra knows that, it doesn't say shit. Thank you for doing your best to succeed where others were not able.
I don't know how much of a success you can call it, but thank you nonetheless.
I suppose that is something we should talk about. There's a few questions I have based on the small snippets I've understood of what's happened in Two Hills. And to kind of expedite this process as we are quickly moving towards something a little bigger than all of us, are these. And she kind of reaches into her pocket, and on the table she puts out 5 white stones. She goes, "These are memory stones. What they do is allow me to place a memory from a person into a stone, and then that stone can then be used as kind of like a visual representation of the memory it holds. works with a spell I can cast to take some of these memories, up to about 10 minutes worth. So what I would ask from all of you is that you think back to Two Hills, to Force Edge, and whatever else may be appropriate. What is not appropriate, you don't have to think of. It can hold about 10 minutes worth, so you have a little bit of choice in this process.
Are the memories for us, for our own safekeeping, or is it some kind of record that you need?
I'm trying to figure out what the cult is up to, who they're working with, and what their next steps are. So I've taken bits of the missions from every member of Force Grey that's been out so far. 6 already. Well, yes, 5 have given some of their memories.
Did one not return?
A few didn't return. One refused to give the memory up. Or even share it, I should say. This does not take the memory, but creates a copy of it that can be stored and then shown to others.
It's debriefing. It's something that my family would use quite often after we'd go on extensive jobs that gather information, find out what went wrong, what went right, what we could do better, what we shouldn't do at all. My answer to most was don't send my sister, but this, it's just a different way. I'm hesitant, I won't lie to you. There's things that you say don't think of as a memory. That's everything flooding back to me of a very, very, very difficult time that we all just got through. It's like cutting the sutures away from a freshly sewn wound.
I understand that, Ramsey, but we're in triage, right?
Vajra, do you recall those, I guess months ago now, when I first joined the Sins? Why I joined the Sins? What you promised you would help me with?
Mm-hmm.
That particular person that you allegedly said you would help me with, someone related to Ramsey, gave us more information about that person than you ever did for me. Are you aware of that?
That the Violent House is well connected? Maybe. But sit down and let's go over everything, because I have more to give you.
Does she now, Ramsey?
We shall see. So you're asking us to surrender the memories of what's happened since we left, all the occurrence at Forest Edge, everything that happened at Two Hills.
Whatever may be pertinent to this discussion of the cult of the Dragon of TMS forces, yes.
Do you mind if we have a moment in private? There's some things I would like to discuss with my family.
Of course. Just knock on the table when you're done. And she kind of gets up from her chair, and a portion of the wall kind of starts to spin in this open doorway that she exits through. It shuts, and it's like nothing changed.
Scree,
Yeah.
do you see her or anyone else in this room listening in?
Looks clean.
I think there's certain things that we do not share with her.
I don't know, Sola, what do you think? I'm very conflicted right now.
I think tactically the information that we experienced, how they operated at Forest Edge with the cloud cover and how they used slaves as shields.
The connection to the Tempest and my uncle, she doesn't seem to be aware of it.
That is what I'm trying to approach, is how far do we want to delve into our personal things?
And we're both very emotionally involved right now.
Do you
What
want
do you
to
think?
divulge what happened in the mines, in the basements, in the temple that you found?
I mean, I think I trust the Blackstaff. She gave us a badge.
This is heavy for you, possibly, that you're walking into a lot of stuff, but a lot has happened before you were with us. A lot that we had gone through that added up to us having some trust issues with people. But a lot of personal things happened to a lot of us. That you were honest enough with us. So I believe we should be at least honest with Ishif. I don't know if we can trust many outside of us.
I don't mean to be a bit of a wet blanket, but as powerful as this group is, really, you don't want to tell the Blackstaff.
The person who killed your sister wormed their way into our group for a very brief time. Your sister was instrumental in stopping her the first time. And she took great offense to that and turned it against us at Two Hills. I am very distrustful of people who appear to be there to help us. I trust what's in front of me. I trust people who have laid their lives down for me. And I'm gaining that trust with you.
I'm honored.
But I've seen far too many times where people who are in places of power that try to do the right thing but go about it the completely wrong way and get a lot of very good people killed. I just don't want that to be us. I propose that it, as much as it is up to each of us, that don't tell them everything. I plan to give them exactly what they've asked for. Everything tactically that I observed. I plan to leave out everything that happened about your uncle. Everything that happened with you in the temple.
Okay, well,
Up to-
so the thing with your uncle, that is directly related to the conflict with the dragons, is it not?
Ishif, months ago, I was working for Vajra under the guise that she would help me locate my uncle if I joined this band of miscreants that I was unaware of at the time. They allegedly maybe had some connections to my uncle, which I suppose there was a minor one in the future and not at the time. She has not followed up on that promise at all. I thankfully found a family from it, but all the hard work that I put in making my way as a paladin through the working for Vajra was essentially for nothing. I plan to share the conversation that I had with Eon, what I disclosed with her about how I feel and what I think is potentially happening with my family. If Vajra is aware of the existence of my uncle and his relation to the Tempest and possibly Tiamat, which I'm pretty sure is happening, why isn't she doing anything to stop it? If she is so powerful and so strong.
Is she, though? There's only so much.
My question exactly.
There's only so much one person can do.
And if she needs our help, then why hasn't she disclosed that to me then? After all the hard work that I've put in for her before I met you guys.
Maybe she intends to. Today. Haven't really given her a chance yet.
I did confront her a little bit just then. I know I can come across a bit abrasive sometimes. But I feel like maybe
I think we're used to it now,
that was
too,
maybe her chance to disclose.
She said something about how she was going to.
More information. Then I propose this. Definitely give the information that we saw, that we know that which is what we want. Or what they want, I should say. If you wish to add other things, feel free. I'm just saying that there's a certain information that I am choosing to withhold.
My High Priestess knows about my connection.
As she should, though.
I don't know if they're like buddy-buddy. I've never asked that.
I don't remember seeing them in any circles.
I'll keep it within the church.
For now, at
It
least.
isn't relevant to
And it may not be just...
the mission.
It's not just that I'm saying we distrust the Blackstaff. It's... Look how easily we were infiltrated. And we are a small group. Imagine on a scale as something that the Blackstaff is trying to run. There can be moles and plants throughout this thing. Just waiting for that simple moment.
We didn't ask Scree yet.
Yes. What do you think?
I mean, I feel like she might know where we could go to get more money and kill those fucking dragons.
Mm-hmm.
And she probably might know a way to bring back Eon. So
I wanted to ask that too.
that's the only things I really care about right now, and she seems to be connected enough. What's your idea?
Maybe I'm just being overcautious.
Well, just the two pessimistic parties, I think, having that discussion.
It's a pessy party.
I think it's just interesting to step outside of ourselves sometimes and consider, do we really think that we are the wisest and the smartest and the largest view on everything?
By no means, but I also have a lot of fear. A lot of fear now.
I hate to say it, but maybe Scree's right. Maybe we speak with her and see what information she does have and what she can do to help us before we make any memory stone decisions.
That's true.
It's a very wise moment, Scree.
Yes.
You were due.
I said I wanted to kill dragons, get money, and
Bring back Eon.
and bring back Eon.
So,
Right.
Drug, sex, and rock.
Yeah.
That was almost all over the computer.
it's barely functioning already.
Yeah, well, shall we ask her to come back and then see what she has to say?
She said to knock at the table.
Everybody goes, then Scree's like,
Exactly. As you do, you
it's bruised.
wait a few seconds. After about 10 seconds, you see the door where Vajra exits out begins to until it, and she jumps through, and it turns back into a wall behind her. She goes,
Cool.
"All right, So, what have we decided?
Before we go and use these stones, you were going to mention something to us.
Yes. I suppose if we can get into that right away. She kind of like moves those stones off to the side, and takes out 2 stones from a separate pocket. These ones are covered in different colored symbols and cracks and lines of gold, silver. One of them is definitely more kind of like grassy, earth toned. It's kind of looking almost like a brown ball with like these little bits of like green flowers put onto it, but kind of glows slightly in the light here. The other one, more of a neutral blue color that has kind of semitones of color difference as you go up in this ball. She kind of like looks at these and goes, first of all, when Force Grey sent you out on your mission, there was other operatives working along the Sword's Coast as well. We set one team near Neverwinter, and another near Baldur's Gate to kind of assess the threats to those cities. Waterdeep hasn't had as much of a dragon influence over the years, partly due to the ward that keeps all dragons out of the city. So we were interested to see if Neverwinter and Baldur's Gate were experiencing similar issues and at what scale they differed.
Speaking of your ward, are you entirely sure that it works all that well?
Well, it should. Everything from the essentially water level of the dock ward up to the top of Mount Waterdeep should be covered.
Ah, that explains it.
You're thinking of the dragon that was
Oh.
underground, right?
Yes,
That's why they were underground.
correct.
Just wanted to make sure.
Yes, we've gone through those tunnels. Most of them were closed off from the other sides as we investigated, unfortunately. So I'm not entirely sure where those led, but...
But you are still able to be... Oh, this is going to sound hard. You're able to be penetrated from below.
Well, the dragon... If a dragon were to get below the city as soon as they broke the surface, which is an elevation level, mind you,
Okay.
they still wouldn't be able to get into the city. It
Okay.
would still force them out if they break that.
Okay.
The only way to get into the city is to be accepted by the Dragon Lord itself, which you bought and gave to us. So we have the option to bring other dragons into the city now as well, not just keep them out, which is something that the Lord of Waterdeep has been a little bit more on my neck about. I digress.
Who controls that decision?
The Silverhand. Lairel, or Lariel, Silverhand. As you all would know, being the kind of leader of Waterdeep, essentially elected into position by the Mass Lords, which are this kind of secret political entity that makes a lot of the decisions in Waterdeep, but only one of their identities is known, and it's because the guy is immortal. Sort of. So, yeah, fun little thing there.
So the information shared is that there were other groups like us doing intel on what was happening. Are these
No.
memory stones of what had occurred?
Well, yes, these memory stones capture two locations that were, I thought, of note. The dragons are one thing, but the members of the cult, the higher up members, something has changed within a little bit. When I sent you all off, I was preoccupied with my own research. I went to Candlekeep. I was able to procure a few texts which recounted some of the cult's dealings. As you all may or may not have known, the cult has been around for a large amount of time in the coast of the Sword, but they have always operated very, very slowly and with a lot of practiced care. They've never dealt with live dragons either. So I decided to look through those texts, and I was able to find information on two of these so-called worm speakers. The highest members of the cult. Two of which I believe are still in operation today. These two, while maybe not successful in their deeds up to this point, have some history and are moving along the Swords Coast. We know of them.
Where was the last place they were seen?
The first one, known as Varum the White, they had pinged up in Icewind Dale. The other, Eldrix the Black, we are unsure of at this moment.
Another bloody black dragon.
These are not dragons, Ramsey. These are humanoids.
That speak to our gods.
Regardless, I'm less concerned about those two and more concerned about the three others. And she kind of looks to the two stones on the table. Some of these memories we were able to take, like I said, willingly. They are hard to watch. So just, I would prepare yourself for that. She kind of takes one of them.
Earmuffs.
Yeah, whatever you need to do. She taps this kind of blue, almost ocean-like orb, and she goes, "This belonged to a draconic sorcerer. Let's just see it." She clicks it on the table, and you can see the stone kind of lighting up with this magical energy as kind of above it, this magical cloud or maybe steam kind of appears, but no matter what angle you look at it, it kind of has this oval shape to it. And in that, you see, kind of in a point of view perspective, first person, this nice kind of small tavern inn, this room inside, dimly lit, but rather comfy and fitted with pillows and blankets. And you can see two individuals sitting on one of the beds, and the view kind of looks down to see you are also sitting on one of these beds opposite to it. One of these individuals is this very, very short girl with kind of like pitch black dark hair and kind of like these deep eye bags, and you can see like this kind of like skull necklace and like a few different like occult-ish symbolage in sort of the devilish kind of Nine Hells era, infernal-y era. And sitting beside her, you see this kind of thin, skinny man who has these kind of like scruff of blonde hair and like this kind of like longer goatee, and he's not really wearing any clothing that looks good. It's kind of like a mismatch of animal skins he's kind of got draped over, as well as like this you can see blue dragon scales on one of it and an axe across his back. And the scene begins as your voice goes, nothing like relaxing after a hard day. This kind of scraggly voice comes out as the man kind of turns to you and just goes, yeah, that was something for sure. I don't know if I've ever been swimming in a lava pit before, but stung a little bit. Right, Ernie? And the girl kind of like looks up and goes, that's why I told you, Bert, you can't be swimming in anything that hurts you. Acid, fire, all the above. Wrong choices.
My accent was way better than that.
Yeah, I know. It's just, I don't know. That thing was grabbing on to him, and fire elementals are crazy and shit. I had to do something. And they kind of like laugh about their day's adventure. And then there's a shift in the air. And your head kind of like looks up, and in your ears, you can hear this just faint whistling in the air above you. Next to your window, maybe a foot to your right, and you kind of look out the window and look upwards for a second. You don't see anything except for a flash of light as something incredibly fast falls from the sky and makes impact here. Everything shakes in the vision. You can hear the other two people in the room calling out to each other as the ground shifts and you lose your balance and you fall to your knees for a second as everything goes black. As that vision returns to you, you see just a rubble where the town used to be. You're crawling out of what was this tavern. And as the last bit of vision begins to slowly close in, you see just a single figure standing where the town hall would have been.
Do we recognize the figure?
Can you enhance?
She goes, wait, let me zoom in.
So high res.
Yeah.
Back up the frames.
I'll say everybody make a perception check here.
That counts.
You're rolling good on that today.
Oh, no.
Around all the chunky ones.
Ramsey.
Natural 20 for 23.
Hey.
Woo! Ishif.
17.
18.
14.
14.
14.
14.
So, natural 20 is really great. DC on this was going to be 25.
Hey.
So I'll give you a little bit,
Ah,
but not a lot.
okay.
As the vision kind of blackens at its corners and kind of zooms in, it's hard to make out this figure. Partly because the armor that encases them is also entirely black. And as the figure kind of turns and looks over, standing maybe... Oh, actually they're not that tall. They're not that tall. But when they look over, there is a mask covering where the face is. A red mask, draconic in nature. The eyes flash with this burning malice as they make eye contact with you from about 30 feet away. And the vision ends.
The timeline that this was taking place, it is in the same timeline as us. It's not like something from the past, or it's within
either your mission to Force Edge or to Two Legs.
Okay. So
Is that familiar to you?
yeah, when we're talking how tall, like halfling, gnome, or just short person.
Kind of hard to make out.
Okay.
And when you say the word mask, do you mean literally like a mask, or are you just referring to their face?
Literally,
Okay.
a mask.
Okay.
Yes.
All black.
Well,
Alright.
we haven't come across anyone in full black armor with a red mask yet, but
Not with a red mask.
No one really with a mask. Like anyone
No.
concealing their face.
The masks worry me. That one specifically, I recognize from my study. It's a piece of the masks of the Dragon Queen. It's a magical item which enables you to speak to dragons, to influence dragons of the color that you have, and if all 5 masks are brought together, it is said that Tiamat can enter into this world at full power.
wasn't that just lovely?
So,
Leia didn't have one, did she?
No, I don't think so.
No.
That means that there's 5 of these.
What were the
There would
masks
be.
called? Do they have a name?
They were just
yeah, I'll double check it real quick for you.
were they each colors of the dragons?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's basically it. But
There's 5 of them just roaming around out there. And if what I'm guessing was a red dragon that demolished wherever these poor but amazing folks were.
Very good looking, it seemed like.
Yes.
Very
yes.
talented.
How do you know?
Just from the vision.
Punch. Yes.
I think I have the point of view that we were seeing from what's his name, Whiz Kid?
I don't know, but he was wearing a kilt.
Yes, he's from Cincinnati, some
Yes.
town like called that.
it is the Mask of the Dragon Queen, but each...
The red one is
Yeah, each
No.
mask is basically a Mask of the Dragon Queen, but different colors. If you have all 5, you can combine them into one singular piece.
Oh, so like you have a portion here, a portion here, like
Bad
Yeah.
Power Rangers.
Yeah, except like they're full masks.
I was thinking like
It's-
Phantom of the
together.
Opera.
imagine more so that like
All
a
powers
one
combined.
yeah like
Yeah,
one
oh, yeah.
one singular mask covers the face. All 5 of them makes like a kind of like a circular kind of like sombrero thing around here. I know it has a certain term, I
Yeah.
just can't remember
Sure.
it.
Sure.
But yeah,
And then you just like, I'm thinking an action figure, you click it into place.
He'll man many faces.
So,
yeah.
question then. You said that whatever color it is, they have a little bit of influence over that color dragon.
Yes.
So is it a possibility that the dragons aren't doing this? It's the minders?
They would want their queen free as much as...
It depends. We don't know what the extent of this is. I mean, if the end goal here is to put Tiamat back on the material plane, there are very zealous chromatic dragons which would be quite on board with that scenario.
Mm-hmm.
They wouldn't need a mask to be told to
Sure.
help with that scenario. So that leads me to believe that they are attempting to reclaim the masks of the Dragon Queen.
And they already have one.
She looks at the other stone on the table and goes, at least 2.
So that's Ildrix the Black.
No, actually.
No?
It's
No.
one of the ones that she doesn't know about.
These 3, we only know them by the masks that they carry. But
And they are?
the red, the green, and the blue.
So they have 3.
They have all 5.
That I am less sure of. If they had all
That's
5,
true.
then there would be nothing stopping them from activating the ritual. From what I understand, many places across the Swords Coast have been ransacked from these dragons and the cult for their riches. My understanding is that riches and perhaps some of the blood, although that connection is less clear, may make it easier to summon Tiamat. Being a draconic entity, gold and wealth is one of the things they care most about.
Sorry, where was that trio again? Like north, south, east, west?
Sure. So, this...
There's a small town called Vandalin. Didn't quite make her out there, did ya?
We got old. Oh my god.
Damn apple farm. Fucking apple
We were so
trees.
young just a year ago. Well, I guess longer than that.
It was at least 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Over that.
It was like pandemic. We like couldn't go to each other's houses like when we started these characters. Like we were not allowed.
4 years ago.
Wow.
It was like my second character, third character ever. Yeah.
Sorry guys, I'm just trying
Oh,
to figure
fine.
out where I wrote this down, because I definitely did.
So we're now fighting evil Power Rangers.
Great.
Cool. Cool.
I wonder if like Vajra's doing whatever she's doing. I don't know what she's doing right now.
Deep in thought of it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
If my uncle is in possession of one of these masks,
I
that's why I'm
thought
asking
that.
her where that magnificent trio was.
Hmm.
Because as your brother told us, he's in the north right now in a magical sense. Oh, hi, Vajra.
Hi. Yes. So, yes, this town here, that was outside of Baldur's Gate, El Terrell.
Ramsey, you look startled.
Like the fallen city of Eltra.
Is that significant?
It was a city that was inhabited by tieflings mostly, and it was dragged to Avernus.
Ooh, fun.
And brought back,
Yes.
and now destroyed again.
Yes.
Oh, not fun.
No.
The whole like
Well,
tiefling
it's
party
yes,
sounds
it's,
like a great
it's
time.
you.
I should, yes, El Terrell is a smoking crater.
Is that what they
With-
did to Two Hills? Same thing?
I would imagine
To
so.
some degree, yes, although the levels of destruction are quite different.
The person at Two Hills didn't have a mask.
There was something at Two Hills, though. I will give it in my memory, but we saw something that flew away after
The
the town was
two-winged
swallowed.
creature.
Four-winged,
Four
white,
Sorry, yeah.
White.
bigger than a dragon. It was massive.
Okay. Yes. El Terrell has been destroyed. Long Saddle outside Neverwinter has also been destroyed. Two Hills was not. And for some reason,
Two Hills was not destroyed?
not to the same level.
What?
I mean, I guess a little bit of Two Hills was left standing.
One of the hills.
Like, it's basically just like the one hill kind of detracted, so
Yeah.
there is like 2/3 of the city kind of unaffected. I mentioned a few times, but the level of destruction of these cities, there's nothing left. And Vajra goes, there were some infernal symbols located within El Terrell and Neverwinter. Almost like there was some sort of maybe pact made, I'm not sure, but the blood spilt in those towns disappeared.
What do you mean disappeared?
Not a single ounce of any kind of blood whatsoever. The bodies that they found were shriveled up husks. So I'm not sure if these attacks were meant to give a sacrifice for something. If you said that something was summoned in Two Hills, that gives some credence to that thought.
There may have been a individual that only told myself, who I then told Sola, about, something being summoned.
Was this individual an elf?
Maybe.
That just so happened to be prancing around a river of fucking blood.
Some gold to him around his face.
Yes. Okay.
We
Same
need,
person.
we need to tell her.
That's fine, yeah. Do you want the memory stones, or do you want us to just tell you?
Here's the thing. If you give me the memory stones, I have things I can show to move quickly. If there are certain permissions I can obtain for you, or passages of travel in the future, it will be easier with some of these things into consideration. It's just that.
Can we just see the second stone and the mask of this person?
Of course. She taps on the blue stone, and before it starts, she goes, I should warn you, this one is shorter. And you see kind of immediately popping out of this image a town square, probably the size of Two Hills, maybe a little bit smaller, and a large just crowd of people filling the streets, every person standing unnaturally still. There is a commotion in the center of the circle, and as your vision kind of catches into this and the picture becomes clear, you see two individuals standing, facing each other. One of them, this black, scaled individual with, or sorry, I should, wrong description. The first thing you notice would be a large Goliath form, so maybe standing about 7 feet tall, with this kind of like white skin and black markings around the arms and the legs, and this large axe that they're just holding at the ready. They have a mask on, a draconic green mask. You hear the figure go, "Come on, don't you have a little fight in ya? Everyone here's waiting for you to kill me. Can't you do it?" And the eyes, not the face, you can feel you're just shaking. You can't move. The eyes shift over and you can see who's talking to this kind of maybe late 40s, early 50s human man carrying this handcrafted axe. He's haggard, but he has some weathering to his muscles. He just goes, "So what? You kill me, then you kill everyone? What deal is that?" The Goliath kind of chuckles a little bit and goes, "You really should be blaming yourself. If you were stronger, you could have stopped it." And then you see his axe swing down. You can see this kind of villager-looking guy hold up this handcraft axe trying to stop it, and as it goes to block, he kind of like takes the blow, and then the Goliath steps backward, and you see the axe is turned into a spear. And with not even a hesitation, before he can move the block down, he is skewered. And then just a splattering of blood as the body kind of flies across, hits your feet in front of you. You can't look down. No one can move. You feel tears welling in your eyes as this individual kind of looks out to the crowd and goes, "Who's next?" Vajra turns off the stone. That one did that to every individual in that village. Men, women, children, didn't matter. So these are what...
How are they frozen?
Some sort of charm effect. I don't entirely know, to tell you the truth. That's part of this. The cult of the dragon has gained some very strong members. The dragons were one thing, but this is another. So when it rains, it pours, I guess. Whether you put your memories into the stones or not, there will be more that we need to do. There'll be more we need to discuss, more to learn. I don't have all the answers right now, and I won't lie to you and say that I do. But we do have a good chance here.
I'm guessing you want us to go somewhere, don't you?
I'm afraid even that is kind of out of my prerogative. You are less so members of Force Grey and more so heroes of the Sword's Coast at the moment. And Darryll would like to utilize you as such. So we may be... I will, of course, be here to help in any way I can, but you may be gone from Waterdeep for some time. And if not, then I'm not signing you up for conscription. You will do what you want to do. But I will remind you, and as I'm sure you all know, this threat now extends even into our city. Maybe not so much in the skies of winged beasts, but there are others that the cult has been using, and I'm trying to whittle out. So it's been busy. There's work everywhere. You don't have to stay, but you could.
No, I think we're here to try and fix things just as much as I think you are. So, even though the situation sucks, we want to go where we're needed, I think. You mentioned not being sure who you can trust. I think we want to be sure we can trust you as well. Vajra, you've done a lot for us, and we've done a lot for you. But I think Rhaenyra here needs to hear something from you before she can be certain of what even she tells you. I don't know whether you've had any information about her family or her father or uncle that you've been withholding, but maybe now's the time so that she also can know what to give you in return.
I mean, things have progressed in certain ways. The amount of dragons that have entered into the dynasty of Che has not gone unnoticed. Some of them are staying there as well, which... dragons are incredibly territorial. Even a few adults living in the similar area can cause massive turf fighting. So, I have sent a few scouts in that area. They have all had to turn back due to the amount of dragons in that. Specifically around the borders. So I should say... it is odd. However, I've also seen caravans trying to leave or come in decimated. I had one scout fly over the borders and try and peek in, but dragons are notoriously perceptive.
You seem to recognize a gold-faced kind of figure.
Yes.
What do you know about the Tempest and what they're doing?
I can tell you what I know about that one. He was known to some of the archivists in Candlekeep. An elf that's lived for hundreds of years but has never aged. He is a chosen of Beelzebub. One I hadn't heard of in a century. if he is back and some of the blood pools that have been reported across the continent and in other areas have pushed me towards that fact it might be him. Have you interacted with this individual?
I have, but we have as well. In Sola's hometown, wasn't it? In the mines.
Mm-hmm.
He unleashed a little figure upon us that we had to defeat while Eon was still with us.
What was he doing down there?
Collecting blood.
He'd taken a number of miners prisoner. And when we got there were none of them left. There was a ritual of blood.
There was more blood there than what came from miners.
Yeah, no, it was a constant flow.
Where does Two Hills sit?
On a river, between a river.
Between the other two cities that were completely demolished. What do you think the chances were that both of those sites, all the sacrifices that were made there, flowed through an underground tributary?
All flowing to Two Hills.
Which
Or
was
somewhere else.
Or maybe, I mean,
Could
it's not
be
like
somewhere else.
we didn't see a lake,
I know.
we saw a river, yes.
And you said he summoned something?
The Herald of Rot,
Mm-hmm.
which we defeated.
Okay.
Plus, as well, my odds are that they also summoned a Bulgura, as well as many other nasty little creatures that we ran into there.
It would be wise to consider our fight against Tiamat as something that would bring in many forces of the Hells. Not necessarily in cooperation with Tiamat, as I'm sure Zariel of the first level of the Hells would more than likely like Tiamat to stay in her prison. There are others that would maybe... It's something I need to look at now.
Or just use it as a distraction while everyone in the world is focusing on this. It's the old shitty party magician. Look over here, don't look over here.
Could also be the case, yes.
Well, everyone's focused on Tiamat. Beelzebub slips in. No one's the wiser. Pulls off what they want to. So we could be facing two completely separate entities at this point now.
I think what these memory stones are trying to tell us, though, is that Tiamat is the focus, right? Because these masks
Yes.
need to come together.
Yes.
I will tell you this, Vajra, without your bloody memory stones, is that this golden-faced figure certainly has some fixation on me. I think he is possibly, or most likely, a spy, either for the Tempest or my uncle, who clearly I think is involved with the Tempest, because there's no way that he could be this powerful, taking over the dynasty all on his own. Trust me about that. He's been speaking to me through inanimate objects, or just, what did you call it, Sola? Sending? Scry?
Scrying, perhaps.
Mind fucking.
My pal Scree can kind of see when it's happening, and everyone else just kind of sees me staring off into space.
With that in mind, Rhaenyra, maybe I can... Yeah, hard to come by, but there are items which can prevent this kind of
Well, I don't mind
intrusiveness.
the messages. I think I've been sending maybe too many messages to my uncle, but...
I think it's more the fact that then he can't peek in on you
If we were
whenever
to
he wants.
If we were to try to advance on him or his allies in any way, we wouldn't want them to know. And if he can scry on you whenever he chooses, he would see us coming.
Sola,
Think of it this way. It's like you standing there if he tries to look and going,
Sola, this would be one of those times that you talked about where we should have a buddy system if one of us gets too emotional. Scree is usually my buddy, but I think you'd be a better one for me in this situation.
Do it. I mean, what?
You can buddy with Ramsey.
Yay!
joy.
We're best friends.
Uh-huh.
Do you trust Vaja? Do you think we should tell her everything?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Again, if one person disagrees, then we don't do it.
I think we tell her everything that she needs to know.
I'm going to trust Sola. Ishif?
Yes.
Well, now you've done it.
What?
Oh, you haven't been involved in a group decision. You're officially stuck with us now.
What?
That's where it's dummy.
You can help me take care of Scree.
Should have read the fine print. We're friends for
I
life.
feel like I'm not super. This is not really my. Y'all do you. Y'all.
Y'all do you. That's a new phrase I haven't heard before.
You need to travel farther south.
Yes, I'm very north, yeah.
Rhaenyra, I should say, the Council of the Swords Coast did invite the Dynasty of Che to the council meetings.
I'm literally gonna grab onto Sola as tight as I can, probably hurting her.
Buddy system.
I'm just gripping her
Buddy
arm.
system.
We received no correspondence back. So
So they're not coming.
it wouldn't appear so,
Like,
but
light
given
my grip
our
on her.
given our conversations, I just wanted you to be aware there is not a open investigation into the dynasty, but there is questions that people have, and there
It appears there's some sort of isolation happening.
yes,
For the purpose.
which, to be fair, over the last half a decade or so, that has been its status quo, changed over. But even on this level, like the dwarves of some of them from Mithril Hall are coming to this meeting. Everyone is out of the woods works here.
Well, I appreciate your honesty, but I still don't like you. I'm just gonna turn back on Super Sola.
Good job.
Thank you.
Okay. Hand over the stones. We'll...
Roger, I have to tell you something else. When I was in Two Hills, I went down into the mines and we found an underground crypt, and there was a tomb to the Valkyrie of Life, and it turns out that Left Tida has been split in two, and there's a dark side and a light side, and I'm maybe the only light touch left, and it turns out I'm not actually a light twister, I'm a light touched, and so, yeah, and I have to somehow find a way to restore the light to Tida. That also happened, and I'm wearing their shirt.
You're a steel trap, Sola.
Great. Why don't you keep that on the inside, and we'll deal with it later.
She needs a shirt. A shirt.
Okay.
The shirt's on the inside.
Do you feel okay now?
Okay.
It's got to be a new record. I thought you would blow up a lot.
I don't know what to make of that, and this has already been a lot today, so we're just great, or I'm sorry, whatever. And she just kind of passes the stones out to you guys.
Okay.
Do you feel better?
A little bit.
I'm kind of surprised that she was very off-putting about it. It seemed like
Yeah,
very
so she
major
didn't
thing
even
to-
care.
Yeah.
I was
Like-
thinking.
It's like I had this whole big secret and I told her everything. It's like,
I guess the
Whoop-de-woo.
revelation of the
Just like
gods is
brush it
not
off.
the most important thing at the moment.
maybe not.
She's like, minor deity, Tiamat on the material plane. Anyway.
Minor deity. Shots fired.
Damn.
Reconsidering my position.
How do we do this? How do we do this?
So, everyone, you are going to tell me how, essentially what memories you are going to keep from the stone. And then you will make a wisdom saving throw, and the DC will change depending on how many things you choose to keep quiet about.
Or to not say.
So here's the thing. I am assuming that within all the important parts, if you do not say you don't remember it, it will pop in there somehow, even if it's like 5 seconds. These things can hold up to like 10 minutes of video recording. So
And does it have to be like consecutive amount of time?
No.
Okay.
the purpose of these is kind of like quick cut information,
It's like
so
an
that
edit.
she can like, here we go, war wizards. Who the fuck is casting that spell? We need to figure out what that is, kind of thing.
I leave out that little conversation with the thing in my head.
Okay.
And that whole... Yeah, I was kind of just on my own.
Okay, make wisdom save.
+3 because you're near me.
Yeah.
That's 20 then.
That's good.
You feel the memory stone activating, and what does the stone look like after it absorbs this memory?
It goes black with a little white dot that almost seems like it has clouds that float by it, and it just kind of rotates through the stone, almost like this. It like has like a white center, but it's just like you shook a snow globe and it's like kind of cloudy all on the inside.
Cool. Awesome. Ishif.
I hide nothing. But I'd like to show her fairway only. If I can do that. So it shows me in the woods, and I hear the dragon roar, and I hear screaming, and I see blasts of prism, and I run, and I get hit by ice and I pass out. When I wake up, I'm encased in the ice. Fire bursts for me and I get out, but my shoulder pops out of its socket and I drag it with me. And then I run to the city center, and from the sidelines I watch as some draconids or something similar drag a last few bodies into a pool of blood, screaming, and then I run away. And that's what I share.
Amazing. Sola.
The only thing Sola doesn't share is her essentially the goodbye to Eon in the fugue plane. She just keeps all of that to herself, and all of the wishes that herself and her friends gave to Eon at her passing.
And the pot pirates.
And the pot pirates. Sola hasn't committed it to memory yet, so she can't give that up.
Yeah.
It's only on the paper.
All right. That's hilarious because that actually makes a roll.
Nice.
For the pot pie recipe?
Yeah. It's a scalable DC.
Roll for secret ingredient.
+3.
Wisdom save.
Question: Is this magic? Is it a
Yeah, it's a magical stone.
magic? Because gnomes have advantage against magic.
Yeah.
This is something that I've forgotten about for a long time.
It's
Oh, yeah,
technically magic. They reworded it to be against spells in particular. So that's, and we did, I think, mention this at one point, and that's kind of what my
Yeah.
interpretation of the rule would
And
be.
so is this a spell or no?
Because she's casting a spell to get the memory and then putting it into the stone, I will say yes.
Okay.
So you can get advantage.
Nice.
Natural 20.
Hey.
Plus 9, plus 3.
This
All of the
recipe is
numbers.
saved
Recipe
32. Yeah.
stays.
on the paper.
Alright.
It's just like a blur.
Mind of Steel, Sola. Also, sorry, Ishav, what does your stone look like after it accompanies your memory?
Oh. Like purple lightning fire explosions on the inside.
Cool. Cool.
Cool.
And Sola?
And Sola's stone, there are two distinct sides. There's a light side and a dark side, and the two are like constantly like eating each other.
Cool.
Chasing after each other, swirling around each other. It's like you can tell the light is like actively destroying the dark, and the dark is actively destroying the light.
Neat. Kind of like a yin and yang,
Yeah.
almost.
Makes sense.
Dope.
Lava lamp.
And Rhaenyra?
So, is this like my entire life's memories, or just like the memories that involve?
From like Forest Edge. She was.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry,
from
from
Forest
Forest
Edge
Edge.
on, kind of thing.
Okay, that's fine. So mine is similar to Sola's, where really just for like personal
I
reasons.
didn't hide anything.
The last conversation that she had with Eon, like disclosing what she was feeling and what she was going through, and with her family,
Yeah.
just with Eon. But that's really just for personal reasons.
Sure. Do you want to make a wisdom save?
Plus 3.
Shouldn't have said yes to that.
15.
Still good enough. You're able to pass the correct memories along. Keep that one private. What does your stone look like?
So because so like it's burning with the memory that I imagine that I'm trying to conceal, like it's trying to fight through, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
So it's red, like Eon's kind of like skin was.
Cool.
Like that.
And what about Scream?
Yeah.
Screw goes. Where do I want to hide?
Chilligren.
Yup. Actually, no, it's screen. That shit's wide open.
Do I have to do this?
Yes, we're all doing it, Scree. You can do
Okay.
it. You can do it.
Okay.
To the top
Alright.
of the gong.
Don't share your memories since we got back to Waterdeep.
You understand? That's like saying don't push the red button.
I feel like it still needs to be said.
Guys, I'm really worried I'm going to think about it.
Think about 2 hills. Remember, there were 2 of those hills. Think about that.
2 hills. 2.
No.
Shit! Okay. I'm just going to do it. Fuck it.
Like a porno.
Natural 20!
Still rolling like honey.
For 21.
Plus 3.
25! I was able to deny those sweet, sweet bounds of my brain space.
Keep those to yourself, please, and do not share even with us.
Why do I see a new title of Gilligan and Scream make a porno?
Sweet, sweet mounds.
To make
The
the
Gilligan
public.
story.
With the apricot skin.
It all comes together in retrospect. Yuck.
So we all got to keep like what we wanted to keep.
Yeah.
I guess so.
Okay.
Good job, guys. Yeah, so essentially Vajra has kind of she takes those memory stones and kind of places them back into her little satchel, and she goes, and once again, these have my purview over who watches or looks over them. So if the Silver Hand wants to see them, she has to ask me, which is great. However,
They still want to see us.
Yes.
You know, it's not very confidence-inducing when I see you shaking like a leaf, like this, talking about this person.
Well, she's just very not intimidating, but just not stuck up, but just
All of those things?
A little bit. A little bit. She's also, well, a gifted individual. She used to adventure.
Oh,
Really?
Yes.
cool.
This was a long time ago, and I can tell her power has waned. But she was one of 7 gifted with Mistras. Musings, playthings, power. There was a lot of different interpretations of what happened to those sisters, but the Silver Hand is one of them, and it's more than likely why she was chosen to head the council and Waterdeep itself.
So we go talk to her next. The bigger squisher. Excellent.
Your summons specifically are for 2 days from now.
Oh.
The Swords Coast Alliance has requested officially that you be present at the meeting. So, at the location, which I'm remembering right now.
Secret location that shall be mentioned to you on the day of the event.
Yes. It's essentially the Lord's Palace, which you would all know is kind of like it's essentially Waterdeep's town hall, or a large political building. where people
Parliament
go.
or
Yeah, exactly.
Capitol Hill.
So
Yeah,
we're going to
yeah.
the Lord's Palace in 2 days for the Lord's meeting? Or what was it?
Coast Alliance.
Yes, the Swords Coast Alliance is the official name of this meeting.
So will it not be only the Silver Hand, but everybody?
Correct, yes. There's a few other speakers at this presentation, we'll say, some of which I've had to personally go and handle, which has been a great use of my time.
Oh.
However, I don't expect it to be too taxing on your group. Essentially, there will be a few updates on the state of the Swords Coast, some of which we have already talked about here, but other things have transpired and other creatures move along the coast. There will be some impact statements from the different cities, what they've taken in for refugees, what they're willing to provide in this fight against the cult, and then into the more specifics, which is where I assume your group will be asked a few questions here and there about your interactions with the cult and what you think might be happening. You are one of the only teams that has come out of this uncrippled, or at least not so much that you are unable to continue. Unfortunately, others were lost, and your Eon, I made sure, will be honored and remembered in coming parade for these lost heroes. So,
Well,
Just as she would have wanted.
she joined the bureaucracy. Welcome.
Reluctantly.
Yeah.
and about Eon, we hope to bring her back. We're not entirely sure how. I was hoping maybe you had some great magic that could just do that. Do you know?
I'm afraid not. Sola.
Doesn't surprise me, Sola.
My talents exist in more of the wizarding arcane.
She's useless beyond this point.
Bringing souls back is a unique connection between a god and a soul. It is not something you can learn, but something you are gifted through time. And those people are difficult to find. But I could see if there might be some services from some of the people that have traveled into the town for this meeting. I'll try and look around if I can for you, but I'll be honest, I do not have a lot of time. This is something that you need to figure out.
I understand. Okay, if you see anybody in attendance who you think might be useful to us, just give them a point and give us a wink, and we'll take it from there.
And if you see someone you want us to kill, give them a point and wink. And we'll take it
Well,
from there.
maybe
With the other eye.
well, maybe it could be a wink and a point.
Right, in the opposite direction. That's safer, right?
Yeah.
You see, as Sola's kind of making this request, there's just a little bit of deflation in her stature. Those of you with a higher insight would probably ping that this is probably not the first time she's heard this request. She kind of collects herself and says, "So, I have made it clear with the Silver Hand that while you are part of Force Grey and you are activated, that you will have a say in what you do. So there will be discussions of what may be feasible after the meeting and what the next steps are, but we are now in a stage where you are a group of skilled adventurers, and the city needs your help. And how you decide to give it is part of that."
Can I ask you one more question?
Yes.
Just on a slightly different note, have you had any reports of a white dragon in the last week or so?
Yes, a few. There's a pair of white dragons. We dealt with one that seemed to be destroying towns and another that we couldn't quite track down what they were doing. There was an adult white dragon from Icewind Dale. Both actually white dragons from Icewind Dale. The adult Aranthator seems to be the one that was flying around towns and causing them to freeze. The ancient dragon we're not quite too sure of. There's been sightings from all different areas of the Sword's Coast, from just outside Waterdeep to the High Forest, the Muir of Dead Men. There's been a few sightings, but nothing conclusive.
Is Aranthator?
Aranthator.
Did you say he was downed? He was felled?
No.
No, he's not. Okay.
No.
So there's 2 white dragons.
Did you catch the name of yours?
I don't know if it's mine. I guess it probably is. Just surely there's not 3
Well,
white dragons.
there are many dragons across the Sword's Coast.
Right.
Ancients, we only have to deal with a couple, but adults there are plenty of. Probably 4 to 6 named of each color that we know of, some of which that we haven't seen for many years, popping back into our records with this new attacks. Others, like Grimspitter, have been on the docket to be dealt with for quite some time. So that also plays into why the council would like to speak to you. You will felled one of these dragons, and if I'm being frank, it appears you were the only team successful in doing so. So that makes a difference.
Around the door. Icewind Dale.
This is a lot to take in.
We're starting to understand what we're dealing with. I'm hoping that we won't have too many more big surprises, but it is time to prepare. Time to get ready to arm yourselves with whatever you need to be successful and to live.
Well, before any of that, I need a drink.
And a metal bird that we are owed.
Oh, yes.
She said she would look. Give us some time.
I will
You know what?
put in an order and have
It's
it
your fault
created.
for sending it off in the first place.
Just a heads up. Anything magical entering into this building will not have a good time if it is not pre-approved. So just
Right.
heads up.
She's such a joy, isn't she?
Just magical terrorism is way worse than regular terrorism. I just gotta put that out there. So we gotta be careful.
That's true.
Bye, Birdie.
Fair.
Yeah. So
Around the door.
I think I've had enough
Around the door.
of Vajra.
Yes, I am quite done with this day.
Anything else you wanted to say to Ursula?
Hi, hello.
Scree, you're settled? Hop on the broom.
he takes one of the pencils on her desk and just slowly puts it into his pocket.
Does Vajra just clock it?
She just slow blinks but doesn't say anything. They make eye contact. You know?
In her head, she goes, "This is the elite team. These are the team."
Actually, all that's going through her head is like, can't argue with results. Can't argue with results. Can't argue with results. This is it. We're stuck with them now. This is it. We're stuck with them now.
Poor Vajra.
Yeah. But she kind of creates the Big Beast's hand near the entranceway, and the doorway back to the center of the tower opens up. But she goes, I want you all to know that I don't feel like rushing into this is the appropriate way to handle it. There may be things we don't know about, but there are things we certainly don't know about that cause pursuing this to be an issue. So if you get in over your heads, the advice still stands. Get out alive, come back. We'll figure something out.
So helpful, thank you.
She's saying we should do some side quests.
One dragon at a time.
That would certainly help.
It's a request above the table.
Me too. Me too.
Thank you for your help, Vajra.
Of course. My next stage will be to reach out across the Sword's Coast to see if we can figure out where the cult has amassed their forces and where everything was leading to. In the meantime, I will be in touch. If you need anything, I'll do my best. If not, leave it with Ravenfoot, and we'll see what we can do.
I guess we'll see you in 2 days' time.
Briefly, yes. Even I am not entirely welcome to this meeting, so... Leaders of the cities only, and a few others, I should mention, but I'm just a mage. Haha. The Silver Hand can do everything I can do, so... I have some paperwork to be doing. I will be in touch.
Hi.
Thank you.
Good day.
Thank you, Blackstaff. Thank you.
Of course.
Soul hops on the big bee's hand.
It kind of gives you like the middle finger, or the index finger, because like... And it kind of like rubs up against your head a little bit.
Weird.
Is that friendly?
It does like a this sign.
This is what it feels like to be a cat.
Yeah.
You'll hop on and carry on.
Mm-hmm. And maybe, I guess we're done for the day. We've got a couple of days to kill, and let's head home.
As soon as we get to the
Get
bottom.
some drinks.
2 days? Seriously?
You can
What do we
go,
do for 2 more days?
you can go shopping.
I've spent the shopping.
I've spent the money. There's no more shopping.
Then sell some of the stuff you bought to get money back.
But I like it.
We could go see that lovely storekeeper from the other day.
Which one?
The one with that accent that I'd never heard of from
Kazuya.
before.
Oh, that. Oh, yes.
Yes.
Your favorite NPC.
Very high price.
We can't afford any more of his stuff.
But
My pricing is very good.
what do we
I can hear him.
whole day?
Commercial.
Yeah.
Go to the theater.
Do they even have a theatre? They're probably
There's everything here.
housing refugees,
Well,
like,
maybe,
but
yeah.
behind
Definitely
the
not.
curtains.
We
Definitely
can go
not.
see some fighting rings. We can go see.
We could fight in the fighting ring.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
They
This is how we will
don't
make our
typically-
life
Yes.
sharp.
They don't typically allow magic.
No.
No.
No. No.
We will watch.
No, they don't.
You guys.
Yes.
Typically allow magic.
Scree and I
Doesn't mean
Scree and
that.
I tag team.
I like to burn things.
It's a different kind of physical exercise, but you really get into it after a bit.
Yeah.
What? What are we talking about?
Wrestling?
Our, yes,
Wrestling for money.
Our fighting. I don't know what you're talking about.
Anyway.
We could go back to the mermaid bar.
We definitely should not do that.
Okay.
Yeah, so that guy's pants.
Oh,
Probably
right.
kick me out.
Yes.
If we stopped going
Oh.
places where Scree stole stuff, we wouldn't go anywhere.
There's the submarine lady.
Submarine lady.
Uh-huh.
Yes,
Submarine
I
lady.
know. I know. I do.
Okay, alright. While the Sins begin to talk and figure out what they're doing on the Big Beast's hand as it drops down, that's where we're gonna pick up for next week. Yeah,
Grinda.
yeah.
Awesome.
Alright, well, there it is. Thanks so much for joining us. Have a great night, and hi, hello.
Josie gets to look forward to like the next session where we're gonna go to like 5 different places.
Fucking theme park. Here we go.
I'm kind of ready for it, honestly.
His mistake. He gave us 2 days.
Yeah.
know.
You think I wasn't just gonna time skip that shit? Come on, guys. This is why you're like, oh, like, we've only been in the game for like a month. It's because every day you guys try and do shit.
Man, Eon, I've been making stuff.
My
She
God.
doesn't need downtime. She just blows it up without thinking.
You need downtime for a different reason now. Connections, money, clout.
Cloud.
Yeah, E-Shift cares about clout.
She cares about it. She also cares about connections.
See, duh. Come
Also,
on.
you guys are kind of scary. You guys are all kind of scary.
You're a
You
bit
ain't
antisocial.
seen nothing yet.
A bit antisocial.